It's like I built this channel and this whole brand around being this man's wife and trying to teach other women how to attract good men and provider men and all these different things. And I truly held my husband or saw him as the bar for what every woman should, type of man that, or type of husband that every woman should aspire to have. And I didn't realize that the person I married was actually going to be my biggest nightmare. So basically, when I first met my husband, as I've already talked about in another video, I think it was my single mom video, I explained, a little bit about how we met. And I really thought that that man was my Prince Charming. So when I first met my husband, I thought that he was my Prince Charming. I thought that he was my knight in shining armor, and he portrayed himself to be this amazing, upright, righteous Christian man. And I believed him. I think shortly after we got married, and this is something that I haven't talked about, I started noticing like certain things changed with him. And I just started to see a few things that I didn't like. But I honestly thought that some of these were things that I could get past. It's like sad to even say like I could get past some of these things.
In case you guys missed that message, says that she was assaulted. He assaulted her 4 times for the first few months of their marriage.
It's like sad to even say like I could get past some of these things. I don't even know where to start. 6 weeks ago, I was changing my daughter, my 4-year-old daughter, and I noticed that when I changed her, she was red and very sensitive. And immediately,
I'm gonna stop it there real quick again, but I don't know. I just feel a certain type of way when people go to the internet with certain things. She had the roll mic on. I mean, I know she has a YouTube channel, but she has the roll mic on. And I'm not excusing any behavior, but what is it? Is it an outlet when people come out, do you think, in your opinion, to come out and give this type of information? This just seems very personal.
I think in today's world, because she lived her everyday life on social media and built what she called a brand around this lifestyle, she then felt the need to have to give her followers an update to her life and why her lifestyle will now change. And in her doing that, not only is she divulging all of her business and putting all of her information on the streets, but she's also dragging her kids into it. Because from now on, anytime we see her and her kids, we know exactly what happened to those children, and they don't have a say-so in the world knowing that personal, delicate information about them. And I also just want to say, I just this whole situation like really upset me when I watched it. And it's funny because I just watched this full video earlier today. So it's crazy that we are watching this. But just from the beginning, like Aisha said, she knew in the first few months that she should have broken off this relationship with this man. He assaulted you 4 times within the first few months of being with him, and you decided to continue to stay with him. Not only that, but also have children with this man because you wanted to uphold this lifestyle. And then you went on to glorify the lifestyle to thousands of people, selling a lie to women that they can go find a man like yours who you knew wasn't worth anything. Like, that just really enraged me. It just really is a clear picture that people need to stop following other people's relationships on social media. It is not real. Half of these people live a lie in front of the camera, and then they go home and they're dealing with all type of stuff that they would never show you. We just so happen to see this bad part of her life because now she has to explain why we won't see the glitz and glam. You don't see her staying in this nice home anymore, and she won't be all dolled up.
Wait,
It's just really upsetting to me.
wait, this is the guy that she had those kids with? I thought she was a single mother.
She was a single mother to, I think, a boy first. And then she ended up having these children with him.
So the ones that got essayed were his own kids.
Were his children.
Yeah,
His daughter.
children.
And she's gonna go on to say there are 2 of them. That was the 4-year-old. She has a 4 and a 2-year-old that he was doing this to.
Wait, so you telling me, hold on, wait a minute. So you telling me,
Like, I'm gonna wind up playing it, so
Yeah.
I know some of y'all jumping the
Look,
gun. a little
sorry.
bit.
so she's a Shira 7 disciple, and she was bragging about a lifestyle that she was getting from this man who was assaulting her and then proceeded to assault her children. That's diabolical.
Selling
That is
a dream.
diabolical.
You know,
Selling a fantasy.
I hate to be the guy, but I'm gonna call crocodile tears on this one. I'm sorry. I don't like it. It's not coming off the right way. I'm no expert in body language, but it just looks like a bunch of shit to me. I don't believe her. She obviously lied to her fans about what her lifestyle was like. So she's lost every ounce of credibility to me. And guess what? I really wish we could believe all women, but when you lose your credibility and you are proven to be deceitful, then I don't believe anything you have to say. To me, it didn't look like she was for real with the crying to me either. Nothing. I mean, that's just how I feel about it. I just don't like it, and I think she's full of shit.
Okay, go ahead, Shan.
So I didn't hear the part about what took place, her being assaulted previously, but stepping outside her, I think men are clueless at how much this happens. I think if you are a child, especially if you grew up in the 80s and 90s, this was very common. Not necessarily from your dad, but this is the exact reason why most women don't allow their kids to go to people's houses, especially when there are men in the house. That came from something. People don't like to talk about it. Whatever reason, it's taboo to talk about it, but it's very common. So you just want to just sit down and sit back on this one. right? And it may be something you've never experienced before, but it happened years ago. And maybe you guys are a different breed, this new generation. You're like, no, but the older generation, there were some sickos. Because I know a lot of women who were affected, not necessarily by their fathers, but by men. As a matter of fact, I had a situation this year, and I think I spoke to it in our She Critique chat, where I had to call the authorities on something that was taking place in one of my, you know what I do, their home. And that happened this year. So I don't want us to take light. Maybe we don't know if she's lying, if she's not lying, but I do know, being in the field that I'm in, this happens a lot more than we would like for it to happen. I'm not saying it's the majority. I'm saying it does happen, whether you're rich, poor, or whatever. I just saw a story, and you can look this up, and I put it in the chat, where her name was Lauren. She was from Houston, the cheerleader. The mom left her with the stepdad. They've been going together for 5 years, and she called the cops. The cops were in the yard, and he shot her, and his pants were pulled down. Did y'all see that story? But
yeah, but
so
Shan,
so what I'm saying to you is, just
You saw him
we don't
vid?
know if her story is true or not, right? We don't know that, but we do know that there are people who don't have good intent for people, right? We can agree that there are some bad people out there. Are they the majority? Absolutely not. But if you have a child, especially a little girl, and now I'm hearing it's boys too, they just keep it quiet, right? If you have a child, I would go the extra mile as to really knowing who you're letting your child stay with. These little sleepovers, you have to really know. I know there was a Zoom call during pandemic. You look this up too, where the kid was in class on Zoom, and the cousin was watching the kid, and he came over for a sexual favor, and the teacher had to call the cops. This is a real story. And this happened in the Zoom class. The kid was like kindergarten or first grade. Did you see that, Marcus? I see you nodding your head. This happens.